The unknown Citadel, the outer edge of the Galactic Empire, was usually quiet. No great battles happened there. No important worlds existed there. It was a place where young officers were sent to gain easy experience. Admiral Corvex stood on the command deck of the flagship Iron Dominion. He watched the stars drift slowly across the main screen. Another boring patrol, another quiet cycle. Nothing ever happened this far from the core worlds. The fleet under his command was strong. 20 warships, each armed with enough power to crush a small rebellion. Their mission was simple: scan the region, show the Empire's presence, and return. Then the silence broke. A low alert sound echoed through the bridge. Several officers turned toward their consoles at once. His sensor chief straightened in his seat, his voice tense. "Admiral, we are detecting a signal." Corvex frowned slightly. Smugglers were common, pirates less so. Neither were worth his concern. "What kind of signal?" he asked calmly. The sensor chief hesitated. "That is the problem, sir. It does not match any known signature." The bridge grew quiet. Core stepped closer to the main display. Data streams appeared, shifting and updating. "Run it through the Imperial records," he ordered. The artificial intelligence responded. Instantly, no match found. Core felt a small spark of irritation. "Expound the search." "Expounding," the AI replied, searching all known species, factions, and lost civilizations. Several seconds passed, then the answer came again. "No. Match found." A murmur spread across the bridge. This was not possible. The Empire had catalogued thousands of species. Even extinct ones were recorded. "Could it be a sensor fault?" Core asked. The sensor chief shook his head. All systems confirmed the same reading. "The signal is real." On the main screen, a faint object appeared, small, dark, and silent. It floated between distant stars. No visible weapons, no heavy shields, no clear engine glow. "It is just one ship," an officer said, sounding relieved. Core studied the image carefully. Something about it felt wrong. The ship was not hiding, but it was not trying to be seen either. "Any energy spikes?" Core asked. "None, Admiral. No weapon charge, no shield increase, no aggressive movement." The ship did not respond to scans. It did not respond to identification requests. It simply stayed there, watching. "Perhaps it is a lost probe," another officer suggested. Core did not answer. His instincts, shaped by years of war, were uneasy. A harmless object did not sit calmly in front of an Imperial fleet. "Send a standard warning message," he said. The message was transmitted. It declared Imperial authority. It demanded identification. It offered no threat, only command. Seconds passed, then a reply came. The bridge leaned forward as one. The message was short, simple, calm. "We acknowledge your presence, nothing more. No species name, no rank, no apology." Core's eyes narrowed. "Trace the origin." "We cannot," the sensor chief said. Quietly, "The signal does not behave like known communications." The small ship moved then. Not away, not closer, just slightly to the side, as if adjusting its view. "They're observing us," someone whispered. Core felt a chill run through his scales. For the first time, he realized something important. This unknown ship was not afraid. It had not called for help. It had not fled. It had not attacked. It had been there before the fleet arrived. "Mark this moment," Core said slowly. "Full record." The Empire had rules for first contact, protocols for unknown species, but none of them mentioned this feeling, the feeling of being seen first, far beyond the edge of known space. The Galactic Empire had just been noticed by someone who was never in their records. First contact goes wrong. The unknown ship remained on the main screen, silent, steady, and calm. Minutes passed, but it did nothing. Admiral Corvex did not. Like silence, in his experience, silence meant calculation, and calculation meant danger. "Send another message," he ordered, stronger this time. The communications officer nodded. The new message was clear and firm. It demanded the ship to identify itself. It warned of consequences if it refused. The Empire had spoken like this for centuries. Most species obeyed immediately. Those who did not usually regretted it. The reply came faster this time. Again, it was short. Again, it was calm. "We do not wish conflict." The bridge reacted at once. Some officers laughed quietly. Others exchanged confused looks. "They do not wish conflict," a weapons officer repeated. "That means they fear us." Corvex raised a clawed hand. Or it means they do not see us as a threat, he said. That idea made the bridge uncomfortable. Scan again, Core ordered. I want every detail. Sensors pushed to maximum range. They searched for hidden fleets, hidden weapons, hidden allies. Nothing appeared, only the single ship. Still quiet, still watching. Admiral, the sensor chief said. There is something strange. Core turned. Explain. The ship is just in position to match our formation. It is learning how we move. That caught Core's attention. Learning usually came before action. Lock weapons, he said calmly. Red lights appeared across the bridge. Targeting systems focused on the unknown ship. Missiles armed, energy cannons charged. The human ship did not react. No shields rose, no engines flared, no attempt to escape. They are either very brave, an officer said, or very foolish. Fire a warning shot. Core commanded. A single energy bolt launched from the fleet. It passed close to the unknown ship, close enough to be clear, but not close enough to hit. The message was obvious. The unknown ship moved. It shifted instantly, not with acceleration, not with visible thrust, but as if space itself allowed it. The warning shot missed completely. The bolt vanished into darkness. Gasps filled the bridge. That maneuver is impossible, someone said. Before the officers could react, the unknown ship was suddenly behind the fleet, then above it, then gone. It appeared again near the flagship, closer than before. Close enough that its shape filled the screen. Shields, Core ordered sharply. Already up, the officer replied. Full strength. Still, the ship did not attack. Instead, a new message arrived. You fired first. The words were not angry, not threatening. They were factual. Core felt something tighten in his chest. This was no primitive species. This was no lost explorer. Track it, he commanded. We cannot, the sensor chief said. It is moving between our scans. The ship began to pull away, slowly, deliberately, as if making sure the fleet could see it leaving. Do not let it escape, Core snapped. All ships, pursue. The Imperial fleet surged forward, engines burning bright, power filling the void. But no matter how fast they moved, the unknown ship stayed just ahead, always visible, always untouchable. Then, without warning, it vanished, completely. No jump signature, no energy burst, no trace. The bridge was silent once more. Corvex stared at the empty screen, his confidence shaken, his pride wounded. Let us chase them, he said quietly, in the cold darkness of space. The Galactic Empire had just learned a painful truth. First contact had already gone wrong, and whatever that ship was, he was no longer observing. The ambush in deep space. The Imperial fleet advanced into deep space. Stars grew thinner, signals weaker, silence heavier. Admiral Corvex stood rigid on the bridge. The unknown ship had vanished, but its presence still lingered in his thoughts. They are still here, he said quietly. No one argued. The fleet moved in tight formation, weapons charged, shields at maximum strength, every officer alert. Deep space was dangerous, not because of enemies, but because help was far away. Long-range sensors, Core ordered. Scan everything. The sensor chief nodded. Scanning. No contacts, no signals. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. The silence stretched. Some officers relaxed slightly. Perhaps the unknown ship had fled. Perhaps it had been a test. That thought ended suddenly. All ships, the sensor chief said sharply. We are detecting movement. Core turned at once. Where? Everywhere. The sensor chief replied, his voice tight. The main screen filled with faint shapes. Dozens of them, then hundreds. They appeared without warning. Ships surrounded the Imperial fleet. Above, below, behind, perfectly placed. They were hiding. In empty space, an officer whispered. No, Core said slowly. They were waiting. The unknown ships were similar in shape, dark, smooth, and silent. No visible weapons. No bright engines. Identify them, Core ordered. The AI responded. No match found. Weapons officers tried to lock targets. Targeting systems failed. Guidance links broke. They are interfering with our systems. Someone shouted. Before Core could respond, an Imperial cruiser powered down. Its lights went dark. Its engine stopped. No explosion. The officer said, it is just dead. Then another ship shut down. Then another. Panic began to spread. Restore power, Core ordered. We cannot, came the reply. All systems are locked. The human ships moved slowly, almost peacefully, gliding through the disabled fleet. "They are not destroying us," an officer said. "They are disabling us." Core felt a cold realization. This was control, not chaos. A message appeared on the main screen. Simple white symbols. Translated instantly. "Do not resist." The words were calm, almost polite. Some Imperial captains ignored the warning. They fired blindly. Energy beams cut through space. The human ships reacted at once, not with rage, not with speed, but with precision. Those firing ships vanished. No wreckage, no explosion, just absence. The message appeared again. "We warned you." Core clenched his fists. This was no battle. This was a lesson. Signal retreat? He ordered. The command went out. But most ships could not respond. Their drives were silent. Their crews trapped. The surrounding ships tightened their formation. Like a net closing, they planned this. Core said. They led us here. The realization struck hard. The chase, the disappearance, the silence. It had all been intentional, deep in unknown space. The Galactic Empire's powerful fleet was helpless. And for the first time in Imperial history, they understood a terrifying truth. They were not hunting an enemy. They had walked into an ambush, annihilation of the FLE teeth. The Imperial fleet was frozen in space. Engines silent, weapons useless, shields failing one by one. Admiral Korvex stood still on the bridge, his claws dug into the command rail. This was no longer a battle. It was execution. The human ships moved closer. Their dark forms surrounded the helpless fleet. They did not rush. They did not panic. They acted with complete control. Multiple power failures across the fleet. An officer said, "Life support is still active, but fading." Core understood the message. This was pressure, not mercy. A human ship stopped directly in front of the flagship, so close that every detail was clear. Smooth metal, no visible weapons, no markings. A transmission opened without request. "Final warning," the voice said, calm, steady, and clear. "Withdraw your forces." The bridge was silent. All eyes turned to Korvex. Pride warred with survival. The Empire did not retreat. The Empire did not beg. "Return fire," Core ordered, his voice cold. The weapons officer hesitated. "Sir?" "Systems are unstable." "Fire," Core repeated. A single energy cannon discharged weakly. The shot drifted. It never reached its target. The response was instant. Space itself seemed to fold. Light bent. Soundless force swept across the fleet. One Imperial ship vanished, then another, then three more. No explosions, no debris, just empty space where warships once existed. "Capital ships are gone," someone screamed. The human fleet advanced, methodical, precise. Every attempt to flee failed. Jump drives would not engage. Navigation systems showed false paths. "This is impossible," an officer whispered. Core watched the destruction in silence. Each lost ship felt like a blade. The Empire's power was being erased. The human ships did not chase. They simply removed targets, one by one. Fleet strength at 20%, the AI reported. A human message appeared again. "You chose escalation." The final moments came quickly. The last escort ships vanished, leaving only a few disabled vessels. Including the flagship, the human ships stopped. Surrounding the survivors, weapons still unseen, power still overwhelming. Korvex knew the truth. They could have destroyed everything instantly. They had chosen not to. "Admiral," an officer said softly. "We are completely at their mercy." Core lowered his head. For the first time in his long career, he felt true fear. The once proud Imperial fleet was gone, annihilated without a real fight, in the cold silence of deep space. The Galactic Empire learned a lesson written in absence. They were not the strongest force in the galaxy anymore. Lesser Taisi Empire. In panic, the news reached the galactic core, in fragments, broken signals, incomplete data, and terrified voices. An entire Imperial fleet had vanished, not defeated, not damaged, erased. The High Council gathered in emergency session. Ancient beings from powerful species filled the chamber. Their faces showed disbelief, then fear. Admiral Korvex's final report played in the center of the hall. His voice was calm, but his eyes told another story. They were not hostile. At first, they warned us. We ignored them. The recording ended. Silence followed. "This is impossible," one counselor said. "Our fleets are unmatched." Another spoke. "Yet one fleet is gone. Data analysts presented their findings: unknown ships, unknown technology, unknown communication systems. No records exist, the chief archivist said. We searched everything. They were never listed. Fear spread through the chamber. The Empire was built on knowledge, and knowledge had failed them. Name the species, a counselor demanded. We cannot, came the reply. They never identified themselves. Military leaders argued at once. Some demanded retaliation, others called for defense. Prepare the border fleets, one shouted. Fortify every system, another replied. But the most frightening report came last. The enemy could have destroyed the survivors. The analyst said. They chose not to. That statement changed everything. They showed restraint, a counselor whispered. That means confidence. A new order was issued. All imperial databases were updated. Unknown species, extreme threat level trade routes shifted. Colonies increased defenses. Civilians panicked. Rumors spread across the galaxy. Some called the unknown force monsters. Others called them ghosts. One question echoed everywhere. Why had they stayed hidden for so long? The Empire had always believed it ruled the stars. Now it knew it had been observed, judged, and found wanting. Deep in the core worlds, fear replaced certainty. The Galactic Empire was no longer confident. It was preparing for something it did not understand. The human message weeks passed after the fleet's destruction. The galaxy waited in fear. No one knew where the humans were. No one knew what they wanted. Then a signal appeared, calm, clear, and universal, broadcast to every major system in the galaxy. Admiral Kor Vex watched from a secure Imperial station. His claws tightened around the console. The message was simple, short, direct. We are humans. The voice said. We do not seek conquest. We stayed hidden because we wished peace. You attacked first. We defended ourselves. Every council, every fleet, every world paused. The words echoed through communication grids. Simple English, yet powerful. A warning wrapped in calmness. No fleet will be destroyed unless attacked. The message continued, but all attacks will be answered. Your arrogance nearly cost you everything. The humans did not boast. They did not demand loyalty. They only explained, and they only warned. Admiral Kor's hands shook. Slightly. This was more than power. This was control. This was intelligence. And above all, this was humans showing the galaxy their true strength. The High Council sat in silence, for the first time in history. They felt small, helpless, and humbled. Across the stars, colonies, and fleets adjusted. Fear remained, but now it was tempered by respect, a respect that could never be erased. The final line of the broadcast repeated, "Do not ignore the quiet ones." In the deep void of space, the humans had taught the galaxy a lesson, one that would echo for generations. The Galactic Empire had survived, but it had been changed, forever wary, forever alert, and forever reminded. Sometimes, the greatest power comes not from numbers or weapons, but from intelligence, restraint, and the courage to stand unafraid. And the humans, who were never in their records, had shown it. The galaxy would never forget.